you want to aim like this?
Wow.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm on a battery. I got covered.
I killed one.
Let's go. Too many people are getting res.
211. Oh my. I just hit him 100 from here with a hat. Oh my god, he's looking at us. Yeet. Get your ass out here, fat boy. Oh my god. Yo, you're probably not gonna aim like that. Aim like that is an accumulation of 5 years of playing Apex Legends. Knowing every little trick to control recoil, knowing senses, doing anything I possibly could to get to where I am today. But I can give you that secret sauce. I can give you all the tools you need to, of course, dominate when you play Apex. You know, we got a new season coming up, season 21. And I wanted to share every little secret I knew about Apex settings, PC settings, and little things that are just going to take your game to the next level. So the first thing I'm going to show you is not going to be on Apex itself. You have to tab out. The reason why we're tabbing out is the first thing you want to do is you want to go to Nvidia control panel. Obviously, you're going to make sure your resolution is the highest it could be. I like mine's at 165 hertz. My PC can obviously go to 240 hertz if I wanted to, but 165 just feels cool to me, you know what I'm saying? Another important thing I want you to do is you want to go to manage 3D settings.
We're going back to Olympus. If anything will help me get back to my son, I'll find it here.
Thanks, Horizon. Appreciate it. And from here, you want to scroll down all the way to low latency mode. This by default is off. What you want to do is you want to turn that to ultra, hit apply. And this is just going to make your game feel buttery smooth, the most responsive it ever could be. Very important. Some people don't know about that. Next, I want you to go to your Steam settings. I want you to go to Apex, click on this little cogwheel right here. Click on properties. I'm going to copy and paste this into the comment section so you guys can put this into your PC. Basically, all this does is like keeps the process priority high, gets rid of the preload from the beginning, the little intro, like that goes away. Keeps your FPS max. I don't know what this does. Full screen, DX level 95, whatever. This is what I like right here. Plus CL underscore IS underscore softened underscore locale space 1. Like I said, I'm going to copy and paste this in the comment section. Just copy it, paste it here in the general launch options. It's going to help your game. This right here, I'm going to show you what it does in game right now. Okay, so what CL soften locale 1 is going to do? It's going to get rid of blood splatter and it's going to replace when you kill an enemy with a red flash. So when I kill, you're going to see this right here. Red flash. That's all it does. It gets rid of blood splatter. You know, it's easier to see people. Again, gets rid of visual clutter. You're going to hear that a lot throughout this whole settings video. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go through gameplay. If you're a noob, stay here. Trust me, you're going to learn something. If you're not a noob, you might still learn something. You never know. You know, you might as well watch. Interact prompt style. You want to keep this on compact. Button hints off. Crosshair damage feedback off. Stacking faded. The reason why you want all those is because you want to get rid of visual clutter. Apex has enough visual clutter in the game. You don't need more visual clutter to keep fucking with you. You feel what I'm saying? Obituaries, that's the kill feed. Keep that on. Minimap rotation, keep it off. Weapon auto cycle on empty. Keep that off. You do not want that on. What's going to happen is you're going to empty out your mag. It's going to swap to your other weapon. And then in your brain, you're going to be like, oh, I got to swap my weapon. You're going to press the button and then it's going to swap back to the weapon that has no bullets. You don't want that. Keep that off. Unless you're like, you know, a noob, a guy like who doesn't really play that much and you have trouble swapping a weapon, pressing one button. I mean, that might work out for you. Auto sprint, keep that on. Double tap sprint, keep that off. Jetpack control, hold. Incoming damage feedback, 2D. Taking damage closes death box or crafting menu, keep that off. You want to just exit whenever you want. This is going to mess with your armor swapping, people shooting you out of the box. You don't want that. Off-screen portraits, you want to keep this off. Visual clutter, your teammates like little emblem pops up at the side of your screen. You don't want that. Pop up, keep that off. Unless you don't know anything about the game, then keep it on. All the rest is preference. All this is preference. Button layout. I use customized. I jump with L1. I put crouch on my stick and my tactical is X. Now, the reason why I have it like this is because I don't like paddles. I don't like using paddles. So I use L1 to jump. I don't like playing claw. I don't play claw, but I use my paddles for other things. My right paddle is for me to talk in game. As you can see, when I press it, my mic goes off. I can talk in game. I don't have to take my hand off my controller to press T on my keyboard. You know, I don't like leaving my mic open because sometimes I'll be streaming and you know, I'm talking to chat. I don't want to bother people. So I keep that like on my right paddle. My left paddle is where I throw my tactical. Now this helps me with Fuse,
Back on me, fate.
Maggie, other characters like that. See, I don't really need my paddle. Like this is me not using my paddle. Like you just center and use your tactical. If you don't have paddles, it basically does the same thing. But me, I'm fortunate enough to have paddles, so I can just use my left paddle to like use my tactical and do whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? Stick layout, default, interact, tap to use and reload, crouch, toggle. I like toggle. It's easier for me. Hold is way better. If you master hold is way better. I like toggle. I master toggle. I don't mind pressing the extra buttons. Like it's easy for me. Aim button, hold, survival slot. I keep that on. Adaptive triggers. I want that on. I don't know why I had that off. Trigger dead zones, none. Menu cursor speed. I keep it like above halfway. As for controller sensitivities, 4:3 linear is the best controller sense you possibly could ever use. I've used every single sense you can possibly think of. I've used 6.4, 6.5 classic, 5.4 classic, 5.3 classic, 4.3 classic. I've used 5.4 linear, small dead zone, no dead zone. This is by far the easiest. No dead zone's not easy. What's easy is small dead zone. Small dead zone's easier. You're able to put out more damage, but your ceiling as a player is much lower because you don't have as much control over your stick because of small dead zone. You do not want dead zone. Put this on 4:3 linear, call it a day. I spent the last 4 years swapping between ALC settings, normal settings, ALC settings, and I've done everything. Fast sense, like I can control basically every single sense in this game, whether it's fast sense, slow sense, like it doesn't matter if it's fast sense or slow sense. Like I've done it all. So yeah, this is my favorite ALC settings I've ever used. 3 response curves, 0 dead zone, 400, 350, 250, 130, 110. This is a faster sense. Like it's a fast sense. And again, like I can control this really well. I played on it for like a couple years, swapping between like, you know, response curves and shit. But like this, I just hate ALCs because I'm always switching something. I'm never consistent because I'm always switching something. Like, oh my God, I lost. I can't believe I lost. It has to be the settings. Let me lower this. Let me higher this. It's really bad for you. Don't do this. Just play 4:3 linear. Call it a day. It is the best sense in the game, without a doubt. Pro optics, I keep off. Your ALC settings by default are set like this. What you want to do is turn this off, turn this off, turn this off, because this affects your other settings. This, when you turn this off, it affects this. So you want to turn all this off so you can have the actual 4:3 linear, like the actual sense. It feels amazing. The best sense in the game by far, without a doubt. Yeah, I wouldn't use this if you're a beginner. Like if you that guy and you nasty with it, like by all means, you know, I suggest 3 response curve around 400 yaw, 300 pitch, max that out, turn that off, use a fast sense. Like ALCs is really fun to use, but it's also really bad because, you know, I just get in my head with it. That's why I just turn it all off. I just play 4:3 linear and call it a day now. I can still mantle jump and shit. Like 4:3 linear is not a detriment to your movement. It makes it look less flashy a little bit because it's like a little on the slower side, But movement wise, I feel amazing. Like I don't look like a little stiff little burger. I can still mantle jump pretty easily. I can still do all the movement stuff on the zip lines and shit like that. Like you don't really need a really fast sense to have good movement or good mechanics on controller. Like you just don't need it. You know what I'm saying? You could do anything you want on like a slower sense and it'll still work out. If not, you know, it'll work out good. Like it doesn't matter if you have fast sense or slow sense. And 4:3 linear is the best aiming settings, so I suggest using that. Now with all that out the way, I want to go over video because video is also very important. Stretch res. Stretch res is by far, in my opinion, better than native res, the normal res that you have. I've played on both for extensive amounts of times. I'm talking years, okay? My aim on stretch res feels 1,000 times better than it does on native. That's not a coincidence. Many pro players all play on stretch res. The only ones that don't play on stretch res is like Hal or Verhost, but they're of a select few. Without a doubt, stretch res is like my aim just feels more consistent. I don't know what it is. It just does. You got to trust me on this. FOV of ability scaling, you want to keep that on disabled. Sprint view shake, you want to keep that on minimal. Disabled, enabled plus boost, 0, disabled. Anti-aliasing, people say that this makes it worse when you have this on. You can definitely tell the difference on how it looks. This looks a lot sharper and stuff, so it's easier to see people. So that's why I've turned it to none. Before I used to have it on all the time, TSAA. But recently I changed this off and I actually really do like it. My PC is a monster PC, so if your PC isn't a monster PC, you might want to put this on like very low, bilinear, low, disable, low, everything low. Me, I like my game to look good, and I have a really good PC that can do that. So I keep all this, I keep this on high. And yeah, that's basically the best settings in Apex. Everything you need, video, Steam, property, launch options, any little trick that you need to like put your game a little bit higher. There you go. If you look at this and you see like you have Xbox controls or whatever, you basically want to turn enable Steam input off because this is giving you some type of dead zone on your controller. Me, I keep it on because I like to use my paddles and I can't use my paddles without them. And plus I'm already used to enable Steam input. But if you turn this off, your controller would be way more responsive as well. And your aim will be a lot better as well. So don't disregard that. You want to go to cog, you want to go to properties, you want to go to controller, and then enable Steam input. You want to turn that off. That will make your aim 1,000 times better. Unless you use like a PS5 controller with paddles, then you want to keep this on so you can use your paddles. So yeah. All right. Slap the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you on the next one.